Mo, you're muted, mate.
You're muted.
For fuck's sake, I'm muted. But anyway, welcome to Never Fall. The energy is gone now. The energy is gone. This is
might as well leave, bro. Might as well leave.
Just fuck off.
Bro, this is like your energy for Oh, he's actually gone. No. Bring him back to host. Yeah, don't actually.
Worried. You thought he was going to have to host.
Your energy for Conte at the start of the season was very different as well.
Was very different.
I wonder why.
He's at a dead club, bro. It's a simple.
Oh, so still defending him, yeah? Okay. Hi, Dan.
Wow, he's calling his club a dead club now.
Take Wigman back, bro.
Not my club. I got George today. He is the Spurs supporter. It's not me, bro. It's George. But anybody, welcome to Never a Foul, guys. Make sure to hit that like button. Please, if you just joined us, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I want to welcome my panel. I'm going to start with Abdullah, Chelsea, ripping Chelsea today. Abdullah, how are you doing today, man?
I'm all good, man. All good. Listen, you know,
you sound defeated, bro. What happened? We just started the show, bro. What the fuck, bro? We just started the show. We haven't done a thing. We're still getting into you. Like, wait. You haven't done anything.
Pause.
Nah, yeah, pause. But nah, it's not even that. It's my team's taking all the energy out of me because they've been so dead this season. It's just been a mad one. I've been through the mud, the trenches, the car, all of it, bro. So, now, what chest really is there to come with?
Well, all right. I'll give you some chest straight away. Firstly, salute that you're here, yeah, because that means that you recognise that there might be a turn. Liverpool aren't here. There's no one from Liverpool on this panel today, and that's because whereas the players you're buying, yeah, bright clouds ahead, skies ahead. Liverpool are thinking they're getting Jude's younger brother right now. So, it's all mad.
George, how are you feeling, man? How are you feeling?
Joke, man.
Deflated, man. Deflated.
He's nuts. Come on, can someone give me some energy for fuck's sake? This fucking show.
But you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? It's just other things to look at. Like Gunnar Lee's shiny head right now, but shining like Arsenal with it, man.
It's the top spot, man. Like when you're top of the league, like the light comes and hits you first. I don't know. It's where it is.
Yeah, man. It's blinding me right now.
Yeah, man. You got other things to worry about, though, my guy. You got a lot of other things to worry about. Mate. We're really seeing
everything.
The death of one club, and it's beautiful to see.
Daps, how are you feeling today, Daps? Jude is going to sit here. Everything is great.
In football terms, I'm all right. You know what it is? Everyone's a bit international break, innit? It's. Ooh. I think we all like the World Cup, but we were glad to see international football back. And for me, it was like, now leave our fucking domestic football alone, and we don't want to see you till June, right? And they've just decided at the business end of the season to just go and stop it for 2 weeks, yeah?
Don't you think this come at a perfect time, man? I'm so happy for this.
Well, for you, maybe. But for Arsenal, for City...
This man just scored 13 goals, bro. This man just scored 13 goals.
No, you know what it is that's frustrating, yeah? Is that we already know, yeah, that like the season is being stretched slightly. We already know that now we're in a period where most teams, if you're in all competitions still, you're going to be playing every 3-4 days, yeah? And it just, for me, there was no need for this. Like, you had your little month for the World Cup. Now, give us, like, these extra 2 weeks would have meant that they could have spaced a few games out. It just seems a bit, but you know what? We can talk about refs, we can talk about FIFA, we can talk about UEFA. It's what it is, isn't it? We have to work with it. But yeah, I don't even know when we're playing England.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even follow that
international
football, to be honest. Cass, how's your day? You doing stuff?
Are
you updating Rashford's titles, huh?
No. I've been in a battle with myself today, yeah, and I don't mean mentally. I mean in the toilet, fam. Too much information.
I thought I'm not going to hot you up. But
basically,
you hot yourself up with that Scotch bonnet yesterday, innit?
I'm gonna lie, yeah. I made some serious pasta in it, yeah, and I only made a little pot of sauce, like my own, like creamy sauce in that, yeah. I tell you now, I slapped one whole bonnet in it.
You put a whole Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, bro. It was a rookie mistake. Usually, you just add a couple cuts and that, and then it will be spicy enough because I like spice and that. Obviously, that's a mono about my cooking and that. Yeah, done me in, bro. But anyways, I'm just
No,
here
hold on, Kaz, but this shows how thick you are, though, because on the way home from work yesterday, you told me about this, yeah? And then when I spoke to you last night, you were reheating your pasta to go again, and I'm like, bro,
but today,
you like sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, because we hear the shit on a couple clubs like Tottenham, Chelsea, you know what I'm saying? Shit on who else is there?
Where do you think we should start? Where do you think we should start, Cass?
I think it's easy enough, yeah, because let's get it real. Today, the easiest points are Bellingham's just been linked to Man United by ESPN. Haaland's just pulled out of through an injury,
Yes,
you know.
yeah.
Terry Food's Arsenal are now even scarier because Haaland's out, you know, or something like that. Obviously Rashford's pulled out. I do pause, and also I do wonder who else Saka might follow suit potentially after the first game. It could be anything.
I reckon Saka might,
I think Saka's gonna pull out, pause, and
he
all
should
that.
do, and rightly so. You know what? The amount he's been worked, he should do. Like I think Edu pulled some strings and made sure the Brazilian man then were chilling. Like, but Saka, the amount of games Saka's played, like these are the type of games that like waistcoats should go and play some fringe players. Like, just leave our league alone, innit? Like, can't get some Chelsea and Liverpool players that have nothing to play for, innit? Like,
I've still got Champions League to play for. That
it's the European Championship, you know, qualification. Hence why I don't think it's not friendly.
I think there's only one place to start, which is transfers. And Jude Bellingham not going to Liverpool. We don't have a Liverpool representative here, but we have a City one, and we have a Man United. And also, listen, Lee, I wanted to ask you a question that I asked on a show yesterday. Who has a better pull in terms of transfers? Arsenal, Man United, or Man City at this moment? If I asked the question yesterday, if Kylian Mbappe is to leave PSG tomorrow and he has 3 clubs to choose from, Man City, Man United, and Arsenal, which one he would choose?
Honestly, it's you know why
That's a long pause.
You know why it's difficult. You know why it's difficult because look, we can say what we want about Man City, but they've bought Aguero, they've bought David Silva, they've bought Vincent Company. I know.
Lee, but do you know the true answer? I actually think, Arsenal might have a shout on that because here's the key. If you look at why Haaland chose City, it wasn't straight, I'm choosing City. He did a point scoring. And one of the things was, like, will I be the main person there? Do they need a person? So if you look at it, Mbappe might think, do you know what? I will be. I mean, to be fair, Mbappe will walk into any team. But with a lot of players, they'll be looking at it and going, like, if you're going to a team that's got 10 midfielders, you're going to be like, do you know what? I ain't going to get no game time. So it's not as simple as who's got the biggest pool.
That was where I was going. I don't think it's listen. It's difficult because, as I said, look, money talks. So, as Man City a pool because of money? It's definitely not because of what they've done in the Premier League. You know, for the duration of the 31 years. But
it is for the last 15, right?
Of course, of course, and fair play to them.
Which 100%. Is relevant because this player's in this era, not 30 years ago.
But we do think about like the big teams, the original big teams in the league. You know, we will just about squeeze Chelsea in there. I think if we're being absolutely honest. So, look, for me, I think if you're looking at it on a blank canvas, I would probably say, look, Man United. They are a huge club. They've got the fan base. They've got the money, and they've still got Ferguson still pulling strings to get people sent off in the his stand. So well played to them.
What a shameless bastard!
Lee's being shameless today. Lee gets his show. He gets his show.
Listen, I think one thing we can all agree with, it definitely isn't a certain bummy team in the middle of this fucking screen at the bottom. I can tell you that for absolute sure.
You know what? I find so funny that people like Lee, all they protest about is, I've got bigger fish to fry. We don't even look at you guys. We don't come, and all you want to do is take these shots. You want to come at me. We don't care. I'm not even talking about you. I haven't even said nothing about you, about Arsenal yet. And all you want to do is come. Clearly, you have not got bigger fish to fry. You can't compete with Man United. You can't compete with City. So you're coming back to us.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree. But what I will say, listen, I think Arsenal, listen, we could do our thing. I think, listen, I've said a million times already. I don't understand why Arsenal aren't in for Bellingham. But listen, I think Arteta's got a plan for us, isn't it? So we're not doing too bad. But I think Mbappe, it has to be the team where he's got a space where, as Daps said, of course, there needs to be a space for him, but he's going to walk in anyway, any space, any team. But 110%, yeah, I would say Man United.
Even fit to Arsenal though. If you actually
that was my point. I think we don't have. We've got so many players. I think. Listen, Trossard. We've got Balogun coming back. We've got.
So your bench is fine then. Your squad's deep.
No, wait, just about that one, Balogun. I've heard he's not settling for bench time, and he's not settling for. He's not settling for sitting on the bench for Arsenal next season. So you're not worried about him being someone that's going to get sold because his goal tally is very high. He's performing very good. He's not going to settle for sitting on the bench all season as Arsenal.
Listen, I think one thing we've got a very, very good manager, and he adapts on the spot. So I think next season, I think people are quite worried because we play one up top, but I think next season, Champions League is going to be a different kettle of fish, and we're going to have games. And I think that we're going to at least be. I think what Man City have done, and you have to give them credit, man. That I always like to have my little digs at Man City, but what they've done over the last couple of seasons when they're winning 2-3 trophies in a season, 2 trophies in a season, and going all the way. Yeah, and going all the way to semi-finals, finals, you can't discount that. And I think that's the next evolution for something like someone like Arteta. So I think next season it's definitely going to be 2 trophies that we're going to be trying to really go hard in to actually win. So whether it's 2 cups, whether it's the league and a cup. So I think games are going to be there. There's going to be at least 65 games that we're going to be playing. So I think going back to George's question, just to think about Balogun, I think we will keep him. I think you can't get rid of players like that. It's stupid.
Do you know what, Lee? Just that point, because I had that discussion with, I think it was Dan Potts the other day, right, about Arsenal. And the truth is, like I've not got on, but when Arsenal fans, like I still have Arsenal fans try and tell me that City should have won a Champions League, and then I have to compare the 2 clubs. But the truth of the matter is, that when Arsenal were at their best, then the stadium happened, right? And they had to sell players and not buy and whatever. So now this time round, like, because Arsenal have had a golden era. So this time, their golden era, they're going to want to eclipse the last golden era. So I think you're spot on. Arteta
which one is the golden era for Arsenal? Enlighten me.
Well, in my lifetime, it's got to be like the Invincibles time.
Yeah, late 1990. Well, look, 2000 to 2005, 2004, 2005. I think was our golden era.
Yeah, where we done our treble, innit?
Yeah. Listen, and no. I'm never going to be
on your golden era, man.
It definitely ended at 04 because that was the last year you won a trophy. 05.
Look, it doesn't matter because Liverpool haven't won all the things they should have won. But this has been their golden period.
No, I mean, but you never won a trophy in 05.
Respect.
You went to Champions League final and lost.
It doesn't matter. A golden period doesn't mean you have to win. Anyway, respectfully, I ain't gonna sit here and ever talk about. Listen, hold on. I feel like I just want to cut that bit out.
You know what? Yeah, I can see the game popping on the side of his head. It's cool, man. I'm getting emotional.
We're still competing for the titles
about trophies. So what we should do is after I need the editor to edit that clip out where I've responded to this donut. I feel bad for doing that.
Anyway, no, but I think you're right, and I think that's where signings like Trossard, like these little, they are ones that right now you're slowly building your squad up, right? So, and this is the thing that people will say, you can often look at City players and go, oh, he hasn't started too much, and then when you actually look at it and you see that pretty much every player is played roundabout by the end of the season, round about 30 games, all of a sudden, and that is what Pep installed in City players, and I think Arteta will, is that Jesus knows it, Zinchenko know it. If you want to win trophies, you're part of a team. You don't always play every game.
Yeah, 100% I agree.
Yeah, for real. But it's just it's so mad.
I don't get like Arsenal. You're talking about the history, but I just want to compare Arsenal to Man City in your biggest period when I was alive, like the '98 Premier League, the 2002 and the 2004. You won 3, but Man United at that time they won 4 during these 7 years. So, but we want to discredit City and say they're not a big club, even though their golden era, they won more trophies than anybody other than Man United in a certain period. And I'm not getting this. Why we're doing this to Man City? Why we're saying that Man City is that because of the history? Is that because of the history? Because they weren't, they weren't great before like the 95, like the 2008 or something.
Listen, what I will say, look, I think these conversations are irrelevant because ultimately it actually doesn't matter. Man City fans are happy with whatever the fuck they've got. They've done shit, years and years ago before the Premier League ever started. But Arsenal are a founding member of the Premier League. We're a founding member of the Football League. We've never been relegated. We won the 3rd most trophies in England. I don't know what more you want me to talk about. I don't know what more you want me to say. Like, Arsenal are a huge club. Whether you like it or not.
Lee, do you know what
I'm really asking because you said something about Man City. That's it.
No. Hold on.
What does big mean, man? I'm so sick of this big.
I just said about the Mbappe thing. All I was talking about was the Mbappe thing, thinking about like the pedigree of the 3 clubs. I wasn't talking about anything other than that. I was talking about the question you asked me. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with me saying that. Yes, Man United are they're an institution. Liverpool, whether we like it or not, are an institution. Arsenal are a huge club. They have a huge following. They have a huge fan base, not only in this country, but all around the world. And I think that when you look at Man City, they're building something huge. And look, can we say that they're even bigger than Chelsea? That's up for debate. I don't know, because Chelsea have won Champions Leagues and they've been doing it for a longer period. They are literally the same club that have been doing it for a longer period of time, and they've won more. So I just don't know, what.
No, I get it. What? The thing is, I know that it is, and the thing is, to some people, it is a relevant conversation because I can only speak on myself, right? I've made it very clear when people talk about the size of the club. I know Man United are bigger than City. Bigger, and people go straight away will get angry about that. There's a difference between bigger, currently more successful on time, all of that. For me, Man United are currently a bigger club. Liverpool are a bigger club. Arsenal are a bigger club. Now, at that point, I don't know the rest, but even more so, I don't give a shit. I really do not give a shit about who's a bigger club, right, on a level. So I'll back out of these. But I do understand some people actually do care how big their club is. And if that's them, that's fine. That's not me personally.
Listen, what I will say is, and I look, to go back to Mo's thing, I do feel proud that I support Arsenal. I do feel proud that I know deep down inside of me, when it comes down and you put your chips on the table, I believe that I can give very, very good reasons why Arsenal are the 3rd biggest club in England. I'm not saying they're the 2nd. I'm not saying they're the 1st.
I didn't know you celebrated a bronze medal that bad, bro.
No, but it's funny. They're not even the honest. I'm saying to you, I believe there's clear reason as to why Chelsea are not bigger than Arsenal. But listen, Chelsea can come at me and say the Champions League. That is not a problem. At least it's a conversation. But what I don't care about is, all the other bullshit. Like, Man City,
can I ask you a question then?
I'm giving you props. I'm literally saying, listen, bro, what they've done over the last 15 years, amazing.
So Lee, can I ask you a question? Because of course you just brought up about the Champions League, and of course Arsenal, we all know, don't have any European pedigree. How do you feel personally? This is just your opinion, of course, about you going out in the Europa League yet again in a game which you should have won, should have went through. And do you think it's a competition that you should prioritize regardless of whether its status, because you guys have never won it?
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, it was quite depressing, and I feel like, I'll be honest, I've just felt like a Spurs fan for the whole of his life.
Yeah, Lee. Yeah.
Listen, Lee. You can say
at least we've won a couple of those.
Yes,
I know what it feels like to lift the European trophy.
You have, but so's Arsenal. So sick. You haven't lifted Champions League.
No,
Stop doing this.
Would you say so's Arsenal succeed? You don't know how it feels.
This is what Arsenal.
No. Sorry, George. I get that you've got how many? Have you got?
Wait, why are you feeling offended, Daps? I was talking to Gunnar Lee. Why are you?
No. Because just because it's not on my club, I can have an opinion. You're talking about European trophies, yeah? Right now, you're not Liverpool. You're not Chelsea. You're not Forest.
And we still have the 3rd most amount of European trophies in England.
But you haven't got the big ears, bro. You've got the same trophies that me and Lee
have
got.
3 European
it's just
trophies.
the equivalent.
You know what? I think. You know why I look at it,
It's a weird brag. I'm not.
Do you know why I look at it?
Moji, before you go on, Moji, thank you for the super chat.
Man United have won 3 Champions League.
Abdullah, give me 1 second, Abdullah. Moji, thanks for the super chat. He's saying Lee was so quiet on Kopish after the Europa League game. If you can't take it, then don't dish it.
I didn't say I can't.
I thought it was relevant at this time.
I actually did not say. I kept quiet because I was annoyed. It was literally post-match, and I came onto the stream because at the end of the day, I was pissed off. Of course I was annoyed. And at the end of the day, I look at it and I say, there are different circumstances for different seasons. This season, Arsenal don't have the capacity to go into 2 trophies. And listen, I'm definitely not doing the shameless thing. Oh, yeah, it's amazing that we're out because we can, we couldn't concentrate on 2 trophies. I don't think that's right. I think that is genuine small mentality. But what I am saying is now we are out because we clearly wanted to win. We brought on the big gun. We tried to take them to extra time. We clearly wanted to win. But I do think now we're in this position, there is no excuses. And I think it will help us long term. But I am not saying, bro, I'll be honest, I put a bet on to say that Arsenal will win because I thought they were really going to win. But
how much did you do?
£55, man. And if that looks something small. But my point is that I genuinely thought that Arsenal would win the game, and I was very, very upset. And Daps wasn't on it. No, it was Kaz. Kaz was on it. He will tell you I was quiet, bro. I was pissed because I really thought this year was a year where we wanted to solidify that we are moving on to next season, because that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking next season we don't have any excuses. So what are we going to do next season? So listen, that's where I leave it. But my only thing I'm going to say on this whole European thing, and I'm sure Abs is going to come in with the whole Chelsea thing. The reason why I just don't put as much credence with the whole European thing is because that means that you're putting Nottingham Forest in a conversation with Arsenal. That means you're putting the likes of Aston Villa and Celtic in conversations with Arsenal, where I know it's been more recent for Chelsea and they've got 4 European trophies, but bro,
six, bro.
Well, yes, in recent times. What I'm saying. But for me, and okay, there's 2 Super Cups. Sorry, apologies, I forgot about that. But where I'm looking at it for Arsenal is, I just think that you can't look at a man's pedigree and say that you're just putting all of this excellence in the last 20 years and saying all of a sudden that they're going to be this gargantuan club. You're not. You don't even own your own stadium. Come on, let's calm down a bit. You're huge.
What about we don't own our own stadium?
You're
huge. Own our own stadium.
You're a huge club.
You don't.
You're a huge club. You don't own your own stadium. Please do your research, because I don't want to embarrass you.
No. What? No. Here's the misconception.
But anyway,
it's the pitch. The pitch is owned by the Chelsea pitch owners.
For me, that's your own stadium.
No. The actual stadium is owned by the club. The pitch is owned by the fans.
And what do you play on inside the stadium?
Tomato, whatever. Bro, you don't own
it. You can play in the concourse, it's fine.
Bro,
it's mad. The stadium is owned by the club. It's the pitch that's owned by the Chelsea pitch owners.
Is the grass not part of the stadium?
Listen, the grass is separate, innit? The stadium is it's bricks and stuff. Grass is natural, it grows in it. You can't grow bricks.
What does Tottenham?
Guys, 240 of you here, and we haven't even hit 100 likes. Yeah, it looks like this. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Just shows you the lads some love. Please hit that like button. I want to see the counter to go up right here in front of me. At least to 100 likes. It's the least you can do. It's free. Huh? Cass is so quiet.
You look like you're clencing your cheeks. You're bare tensed in right now, bro.
I'm changing something in the background.
That's not what you're talking about.
Man said he's clencing his cheeks.
I know he's been clenching his cheeks. I tell you that. I'm right there. Your manager.
Yeah, man, that was a joke. I was thinking, what's this guy doing on Ryanair? Like, at least a little British Airways or something. Like, he's trying to get them £30 flights, and he's been getting £50 million a year.
Hold on. How you want to spend this money, though, man? If he wants to do that, if he wants to feel like a peasant like the rest of us, then so be it.
It's his money at the end of the day, and he chooses what he wants to do.
By the way, just to add, I don't know if I don't think you can actually go to Milan on any other flight other than
that's what I was thinking. To be fair, there probably is, but the amount of money he's got, bro, I'm not gonna lie, because I was thinking the same thing. Certain places you can only get certain flights, but man's got enough P to just grab a quick private jet out there.
Nah, you lot say a private jet's a good life. That's like £50 for a quick flight.
Bro, no. A seat on a private jet for like one flight, to someone that's like, what's he on? What? How much?
15 million a year. Yeah, it's not too.
Like, bro, that is very light. A seat. I'm not saying buy a private jet. A seat on a private jet for a flight to Milan would be light for him, bro. Very light.
No, but to be honest,
it's unnecessary, man. But I hear you do that.
He done his thing. It's his piece end of the day. So what can we do?
He's used to being in tight spaces. He's been at Spurs, isn't it?
Did he even get the extra leg space? That's what I want to know.
before we go to Spurs,
yeah, he didn't. He wasn't even front row.
He was in the tight one, man.
Guys, with the super chat, Chelsea fan is a younger. It is only that generation that thinks Chelsea are bigger than Arsenal. Arsenal got double their league titles and 20 more trophies at the moment. The question here is, Abdullah, how much weight does the Champions League in comparison? How much does it weigh in comparison with the Premier League? Does it weigh 5 points, 6 points? That's what I'm asking
but
you.
know
Like,
it is when it comes to so number one, this guy is shameless whoever said that, because if you actually check it, them 20 extra trophies he's talking about, 90% of those 20 extra trophies are charity shields. And let's be real, no one really counts charity shield as a major trophy like that. So
I mean, your greatest ever manager does.
Nah, bro. I don't count it. I don't even listen. When people tell me I've won 30 sign-on trophies, I tell them, listen, take out that charity shield or whatever.
That's not charity shield, by the way, just to add in there, bro.
It is charity shield, trust me.
Because we've won 13 league titles and 14 FA Cups. So how does that make sense?
And that would take you to like 30 sign-on trophies. I promise you, the extra 20 is all charity shields. I've done the research.
I'm not going to lie. I like to use, when it comes to, I hate that I'm having this fucking conversation about size of clubs. But when it does come to size of clubs, I'll be real. Like on the pitch, when people talk GA in that, I like to do the eye test. And if I'm being honest with you, like for me, yeah, Liverpool and Man United, I get the Champions League. But look, Arsenal are the biggest club.
Aston Villa also a big club. Nottingham Forest also a big club.
Hold on, let me finish. Arsenal are the biggest club, in my opinion, in London, right?
Nah,
in my opinion, and I'm doing an eye test. You can talk stats and tell me people have more Twitters, more Instagrams. My eye test, Arsenal growing up here, they always have been, and they've even had a period where they've been finishing 8th and whatever, yeah. But they've still continued, and now if they start winning trophies, younger fans are going to start supporting them again, and it'll start going up.
The thing is, though, is that
hey, it's what it is.
No, the thing is that I feel like Chelsea fans forget, is that they never had a history before Roman. You had 3 trophies.
Yes, they did.
In 100 plus. Cass, stop. Cass, give me a second. They had 3. Let me get to my point. I've done my research. Yeah, they had 3 trophies prior to 2005.
City had more.
95% of their history has come in the last 20 years. That is your history. Your history is 20 years long.
And 25%
to that, you had an FA Cup, Cup Winners' Cup,
actually,
and a Community Shield. You had 3 or 4 trophies prior to that. Your team was not.
George, can I ask you a question? This period since you last won your trophy, yeah, I don't know how long it is, like, and whatever this period is, yeah, like, you do realize this is still your history, right?
I do realize, but again,
so
history is a time span. Span.
So
if you pack it all into a small amount of time, it doesn't make you all of a sudden bigger. If we've been bigger than you for 100+ years, and all of a sudden out of 20 years come, and because we're all young and this is all you remember, and all of a sudden you're a big club, you're way bigger than us, it doesn't make no sense. If you don't speak to older people, they will be like, I didn't even know what Chelsea was.
I want to really ask a question to Cass. I want to ask a question to Cass because Manchester United from 92 to 2012, Manchester United won the most of your trophies. Am I not correct?
Probably.
Exactly. So George, your logic is flawed, bro.
So basically,
let me
add. Yeah, people get mixed up with the most successful teams and then obviously the biggest teams, right? If you're gonna talk about the most successful teams in the last 20-year period, it's Chelsea, bro. So on top of that, let me tell you about Chelsea's history because, funny enough, all the old heads will always remind you, especially when growing up, what they used to win. So I thought I'd just do a little bit of digging to show how shit George's ball knowledge is. Show me what they won. They won the first division in 1955. Fair enough, they won 1 league title, but sometimes teams are cup teams. They won the FA Cup 1970, 97, 2000, won the League Cup 65, 98, and also they won the Cups Winners' Cup in 71. They won a UEFA Super Cup in 98, and they were obviously charity shields or whatever. And then man, so they have had some success.
How many trophies did you name?
Huh? They won 1 league title just that year. Yeah, but they
won what?
They still won a good collective of trophies. 1, 2, 3, 4 before 2003, by the way. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not gonna count that. About 8 major trophies.
Does that include or exclude?
Wait, are you including second divisions? Is this what's going on?
No. I'm literally.
Is this what's going on, Cass?
Because I'm on Chelsea's flipping literally their actual website, which tells you when they won the trophies from before and after.
listen, we've had history in it. We've not. It's obviously it's not been as successful
They
as
have.
certain other clubs now.
They dragged you into this
We're not
conversation,
as-
Abdullah.
They've had-
They really dragged you into the conversation. They dragged you into
And
saying
also
that to
also-
defend your club that you had
Chelsea's
history
league-
before. It
Chelsea's
doesn't
league
matter,
positions-
bro.
Chelsea's league
No, no, no,
positions.
no.
Chelsea's league positions from 1990s and up to the 2003 Roman, they were actually very high in the table.
Yeah, with Dennis Wise in them, man, innit?
We were getting Champions League regularly.
late 90s.
bro. Yes,
In the
they
late
were.
90s.
Well, that
Yeah,
was
the
my
late
era.
90s.
I fully know about Dennis, all that. Look,
But
you've
they
got to
have
remember
some
there was
history.
this era where like an actual serious number of European players started coming, and to be fair, and Brazilian players started coming to the Premier League. And it was Tottenham and Chelsea. I mean, look, other clubs had them, but it was Tottenham and Chelsea that started that with Klinsmann, Dan Petrescu. At Chelsea, it would have been Zola, Vialli, and all them lot. Even Middlesbrough in the mixer. Middlesbrough bringing over Jorginho, Emerson, and
It's kind of gone now, Daps. I'll be honest. Like, so before, I think back in the early 2000s, this is just my opinion. So if you're a relatively big club, like back then, you're on Chelsea, don't get me wrong, you weren't massively successful, but you did known to be won a couple of things in the 90s and stuff, and you known to be a good team. Middlesbrough as well. You might have had the good director of football back
they had
then.
a very brief period and just
I think
bought
Newcastle,
Blackburn.
Blackburn.
There'd be a period where players will be like, yeah, I fancy going there. Nowadays, it's all dependent on success and everything. Unless you're a gigantic club like Manchester United, it's a different story, or Liverpool.
Well, as well, the other thing is, back then, what I feel it was, is what you got to remember is, and me and Mo had a long chat about this, is like in the late 80s and 90s, yeah, English football was in a very bad place, yeah. Then Sky created the Premier League, yeah, and that started bringing money into English football, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we started being able to get better players from abroad, and then what you were finding is that, like, say for example, Asprilla, he wasn't massive, yeah, but he was what Newcastle could afford. But there were players like that, and it still happens now, that would think, do you know what? I'm going to come to the Premier League and their agents would tell them, go there, light up the Premier League playing for a lesser team, and the chances are that someone like Man United or something will come in for you. We still see it in this day and age that, like, there's players that join lower teams thinking, if I go there and light up the Premier League, I'm
look
going
at
to get
David
signed
Ginola,
by a
man.
bigger club.
David Ginola, perfect example. And
Yeah.
Klinsmann went to Tottenham, absolute ballers, bro.
Yeah.
Made the Premier League shit.
United till I die is saying Arsenal are much bigger than Chelsea, third in England, even without Shields. They have got more major trophies. Chelsea should watch their back when with City humble.
And
I'm
do you
not,
know what, Mo?
like,
Do you
it's
know-
not about the
No,
number,
no.
Lee. It's about the weight of the trophy as well. The Champions
Yes,
League way
yes.
more
And
than
I
the
was
Premier
also-
League.
I think, look, like, ultimately,
No, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me just say, wait, can
Go
I
on,
say
go on,
my-
go on.
I'll say this. So, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to splitting up who the bigger club is, it comes down to, I've always broken down in 5 factors in it. There's your domestic success, your European success, your the size of your fan base, the revenues you bring in, because obviously that contributes to how big a club you are, and just if you want to call it the straw that broke the camel's back, who's better right now in it. So obviously Arsenal are better right now. They've got more they've got more domestic history, if you want to call it that. But all other 3 boxes, I'd argue we tick them. We now have a bigger fan base. You can check it out.
But Abdul, by him being better than you right now, their fan base will now get bigger because they're better than you right now.
Maybe not.
Well,
but
that's an
Can't lie,
assumption.
there is no
That's
way
an
Chelsea have a
assumption
big
that-
fan base.
Please.
No,
Check it
no,
out.
no,
you threw that
This
out.
is a madness
Listen,
conversation.
listen.
I can't wait to
I
move on.
want to end it here.
I
Let me
would
end it
This is
here.
the biggest pop off I've ever heard in my life.
If you go to-
Is that who's got the biggest dick, bro?
It is,
What I
bro.
want to see is
It's
currently
mad.
the new current fan base that's coming in, the youngers, are for City
Yeah.
because they've been dominant for a long time, not a short time. Just what long league title don't mean shit. That means Leicester's gonna have a bunch of fans coming in just because they won 1 league title. Not the case, is
Yeah,
it? Right now, yeah,
Nah, true.
dominant. The most fans are either supporting Liverpool or unfortunately Man City. So
I can tell you here in America, Arsenal fans are bigger than Chelsea fans. Like,
That's
And what I will say, I lived in
That's
Dubai
a
for
fact.
2 years, and listen, bro, I'll be honest with you, everyone supports City out there. Absolutely everybody. I live
Yeah, they
literally
do.
everybody.
But
Every
that's because
single
the owners
person.
are from there, innit?
Of course, yeah, but literally everybody supports City. You will see Etihad everywhere. Like, it's huge. So
Sorry,
give
and
them-
just to say on that, and by the way, I'm not trying to push that City are bigger than anyone, right? But the model we've got, you know, where we've gone and got all of these franchises, clubs elsewhere, right? That's to help to grow our global fan base. For example, New York City. New York City needed a stadium to play in. So what did Manchester City do? They got a partnership with Yankees, yeah? The biggest baseball team in the world, right? So straight away, Man City play at Yankees Stadium. So any Americans that are just starting to, oh, well, you know what? I live local. I'll go and watch Man City play. So it's stuff like that. All these little things. But to be frank with you, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
Like,
We're going to talk about the fact.
Can we move? Daniel here is saying, Mo,
we're having a cock off.
Yes. Daniel here is saying, Mo, while we're talking about who the bigger club is, I thought the question was who has the biggest.
That was Mo's fault, by the way. That was Mo's fault. I've been telling people, Mo's been a bitch lately, bro. He's been a hypocrite, a bitch, and he's a nice guy, and that's about it, bro.
Can we talk about Antonio Conte? Seriously, George, is Antonio Conte bigger than Spurs as a coach? Like,
shut up. Shut up. Don't disrespect. Do not disrespect. Don't even.
And everyone on this panel, would you not all agree that I am the one that doesn't want to have this conversation about comparisons? And this is what happens. Somehow someone in the comments like, Daps wants to be compared. I don't. Leave us alone. Let us just do what we're doing, man. I don't want this comparison.
Is that good?
No, bro, but Mo, stop it.
I am just asking the question, bro.
Stop the foolishness.
Listen, Conte is definitely.
This is what I'm hearing.
You're so fucking triggered. I just asked a question, bro. I didn't say anything. I didn't put a statement out, George. I just asked you a question.
Conte, look, I hear what you're saying. I know you want to back your daddy, but you can take him back. You can take Big Man back. Unfortunately, he's going to be getting sacked. He's going to be getting sacked this week. It is what it is. He's not done enough. Like, I do completely get his comments in the press conference. I don't disagree with his comments, by the way. Let me put that out there. I don't disagree with what Conte said. Conte was just being very truthful. A lot of the fans have shared his sentiment for the past year or 2 years. Since Poch has left, we've shared this sentiment that it's the players. Like, the club hasn't done enough to back managers. We all admit that. But it's the players, time in and time out. They've not done enough for us. It's these same players that have been here for 7 or 8 years. They're now calling for Conte's head. They called for Jose's head. They called for Poch's head. They're cowards. They're just straight up cowards. They don't step up when the pressure's down, when the pressure's on them. And when there is no pressure, they want to play some great football and look like themselves and look like the Conte team. It's not good enough. So we're not going to go out there and disrespect Conte. I'm still a very big fan of him, and I would have loved for it to work out, but he does have to take accountability. What I saw happen in the press conference was a lot of deflection, a lot of it could be the owners, it could be the players, but we get paid this type of money, and he didn't do enough. He's had a good enough squad to get through the Sheffield United game. He had a good enough squad to get through the AC Milan game. He did not do enough tactically to adapt mid-game to the teams that were coming against us. He hasn't done enough for this team to push them on to be like they was last season. Like I said, they've regressed since last season. We had a better team this season. We've had a better squad this season. So the only way that they can regress is because the manager and the training or whatever's going on behind the scenes is just not good enough. They're clearly not setting the standard high enough. So Antonio Conte's not done enough. He has to take some blame, but it is definitely on the players for not turning it up. It's definitely on the players for letting him down and letting the fans down. And there's not really much we can do at this stage. I would just like a clear plan. I'd like to know how we move forward. I'd like to know what.
I've never heard George talk like this before. I want the other George back.
I agree.
Don't do that.
Can I ask a serious question though?
I warned these Tottenham, man. I told them, listen. I told them. I went through the exact same thing. This Conte guy, forget the whole short-term thing, and everyone says, he's not a long-term manager. This guy I'm saying it straight. Antonio Conte is a straight-up coward. He is a coward because all he does is when he don't get what he wants, he throws his toys out the bag like a little 2-year-old baby. Without fail, every single time. He did it at Man Club. He was like, I didn't get Lukaku. I didn't get flipping Muslim. I didn't get Van Dijk. I didn't get, who else did he want? Alexandro or whatever. And he started crying and threw the season under the bus. Every single game that last season with Conte at my club was where we was losing and flopping was his fault. It was his fault. And he's done the same thing at Tottenham. He didn't get what he wanted.
No, I want to ask.
Baby.
I want to ask a serious football question to you, George, because listen, we can do all the banner all you like, but where do you actually go from here? Because listen, I'll be honest with you. I've said that we're watching the death of a big club. Because Spurs, listen, no matter what you want to say, you do have a bit of pedigree. You do have a bit of momentum going for you. Well, you did, but you're going to probably lose Harry Kane. Your manager's going. Now, the issue that you also have is you don't spend the money. So you don't do what Man United do. You can't do what Chelsea do, and you can't do even what Arsenal do to some respect. So, you know, you're going to lose your best player. Son looks like he's aging. Kulu, you know, is he the guy that...
Don't write him off first season?
No. I'm saying, is he the player from the first season or is he the player from this season? Now, I actually think he's actually a half-decent player. But what I'm trying to say to you is your squad is horrible. You overrate players like Romero, Lloris, Dyer, and Bentancur. I think they're all overrated.
Bentancur is quite good, though.
Okay, but Bentancur probably wouldn't even start for Arsenal, right? So that's how bad it is. So then we go to Harry Kane. As I said, he's going to be going out the door. And I'll keep saying it, and I'm going to say it over and over again. Where do you go from here? Because I truly do think if you don't get top 4 this season, even if you do, like, you're done for. You're finished.
I'll be real, Lee. Top 4 does nothing for us this season. Like you said, we need a plan. Top 4, if we get top 4 this season, we're just getting into Champions League next year. It's not an amazing thing. We're not going to win it with this squad. And at the moment, like I said, the plan for me and what I think we need going forward, we need a mass exodus. We need to clear out a lot of things. We need a new manager.
No,
it won't happen straight away. We all know that it won't happen straight away. It's a process. That is what we need.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. I think it was in a space yesterday as well where it was actually talking some logic. Yeah. So the thing is, right? I think Levy's gonna have a massive job of keeping Kane at Tottenham this summer.
Keeping Kane is the least of my worry.
But the fact is, question to you then. Would you rather sell Kane, like let's say 100 million, let's just put that price on it and trust your board to go and reinvest that, plus the extra whatever money that they're getting? Like let's say there's about 200 million in the budget. Would you rather have that or would you rather have the 100 million, 120 million budget going into next season? What's your preference?
I'll be totally honest. Like I said, I feel like we need a mass exodus. We need a manager to come in. If it's not new ownership, I accept that that's something that's not going to happen straight away. That's fine. But we need a manager with a clear plan. We need a clear long-term plan, because right now, I said the past couple managers that have come in, it's all let's get through this season and see what happens. Let's get through this season and see what happens. We need someone that we're going to sit down and have a 3 to 5 year plan on how we want to go and win the league, because that's what it is. If you're coming into a big club, you need a 3 to 5 year plan on how you're going to win the league. We need a manager that's going to come in with a vision that's going to do that. And if that means selling Harry Kane, I generally wouldn't mind. I'm at the point where I love Harry Kane a lot as a player. He's the highest goal scorer for my club. Is a legend, but we've had him for 10 years now, and he's not won us a trophy.
I'll be honest.
So am I confident? Am I confident that he's going to win a trophy for us as he's getting older, and we're not really too sure what's going to happen with the team? I'm really not that confident. I don't know if he's going to be the man to take us there. So I really think that, we need a lot of changes. And if that means getting rid of Harry Kane, getting rid of Son, getting rid of Lloris, stripping out, what we need to do is strip out the players that have been here for 7 + 8 years, 7-8 years, the players that have been here through all the failures, and bringing a whole new squad.
But you do know, George,
bring a new lease of life. Because at the end of the day, a new manager, new squad, new players, it's a new team, and we start fresh. That's the only way.
I would say, though, George, you do deserve this, though. Yeah, you do deserve this, because you've been capping for years. You've been saying all this madness for years. You've been trying to put yourself in predicaments and positions above Arsenal, trying to just say that this.
We was above Arsenal,
but you've been trying to put this 6-year stint. The shift has been changing. When, let's be real, you didn't win anything. You weren't ever going to win anything. And you just said, and you need a plan for the next 3 to 5 years, brother. You ain't never winning no league. How dare you? You ain't winning the league over Man City. That's definitely not going to happen. You ain't winning the league over Man United, because they're coming up, and I'm worried about them.
Man United's coming up. No one thought Man United was coming this quick. So again, you ain't winning. But the thing is, George,
you don't spend the money. You don't have the capacity to keep talking like this. You don't.
You keep
And
saying
we're
we
trying
don't
to tell
spend the
you,
money.
and then you
Lee,
hold on,
this is what you're not getting.
hold on.
Tottenham need change. We have the money to spend. No, wait, you're acting like we ain't got the money. Well, as you said, Antonio Conte's got the money.
Then you do these weird things.
We have the money. We're choosing not to spend. Tottenham need to change as an institution to get.
Do you know what it is with Tottenham?
But you and Deji be doing these weird things here, where you be trying to map out the course to the Champions League final. This is what you deserve.
I've never done that. I've seen people do that. I've never done that. Don't put that to my name, Lee. Do not put that to my name.
Arsenal been doing.
Tottenham fans have tried to map it out. I've never done that.
Arsenal
I've said
been in
let's
the
get
mud
through
for
the first
10
game.
years. Arsenal have been in the mud for 10 years, but listen, bro, it was an ownership thing that we had that was going on. So yeah, listen.
Lee, if
I
you
have
want
a
to start
serious
doing
question,
that,
George. I have a serious question. Before 2000, I have a serious
That's what I'm
question,
saying.
George. I'm serious, not banter. I swear. Before 2008, 2007, Spurs were not actually in the picture of like going for trophies and fighting for like
we
Champions
was
League places.
just for a few years we didn't.
So before that, you were in the 90s.
We did go for a stint where we were sort of mid-table for about 5-6 years. We did have a top 4 run, and then of course Lasagna Gate happened. But we were still.
Are you scared? Are you scared of because of the no money? The question is: are you scared because of the no money that Newcastle might jump on that chance, that opportunity?
I'm not again like
top 6.
Mo, the big difference is that Tottenham have money. We have more money than Arsenal. We have more money than Chelsea. Chelsea and Arsenal just spend it. If you look at Tottenham's revenue and you actually do the Financial Times looking at and you look at what Tottenham make, Tottenham are one of the most profitable clubs and they've got one of the most amount of money in the world. We're one of the biggest. We bring in some of the most amount of money in the league, one of the highest revenue clubs in the Premier League. So our problem isn't not having the money. Our problem is choosing whether or not to spend it. We all acknowledge as Tottenham fans. I sit here and say every summer we need to spend more. We need to spend more to compete. Even last summer, I called our window a 6.5 out of 10. Go and do the receipts, whatever you want. I said, we need to spend more. We needed a centre-back. We needed a centre-mid. The summer was good. We spent a lot of money. We still didn't spend enough. So again, we will have to continue to spend more to compete with the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, and so on. But let's not take away from the fact that we have
it's not happening. That's what you just said. That's what you said. It's not happening, right? It's not
necessarily. Hold up. It's because George just said something, and I was just when I heard the whole thing of how Tottenham don't have money, they do have money. The issue isn't about spending money. The issue is they spend money wrong. Now they dropped how much money on Bissouma, and Bissouma's not done much.
It was 25 million. That was a cheap signing. Don't do that.
Fez. Who else was there? There's
it was Richarlison. Richarlison was 60 million pounds.
Richarlison was 60 M's. Ndombele 60 M's.
Unalee's been talking about it on Twitter for the past 6 months. Richarlison. That's all I see.
My point is that
I tried to tell you Richarlison's not the guy, and I tried to tell you Conte is not the guy.
Of Tottenham have spent their money wrong, or is it a case of they don't spend money in general? Because I see them spend peas, but none of their signings seem to work out. Apart from maybe
it's both. We've not had, again, because we've not had a long-term plan. We sign players for managers, and the managers end up getting sacked within the next 6 or 7 months.
This is a perfect segue to Chelsea.
You know what's mad, yeah?
Yes. That's I was laughing for this. I was smiling.
Everyone leaves Tottenham and just wins trophies, bro. Like Ndombele is about to go win the damn thing and all sorts.
Imagine Ndombele winning a trophy.
Don't worry about that.
The thing is, if you get a saucy manager, like I think Ruben Amorim has proven that he's a good project manager for Sporting, won the league title. I think he'd be 3-4-3. You got Jed Spence.
I wouldn't mind Ruben Amorim.
You've got Dan Juma. You've got Udogie who's having a great season for Udinese again, coming in. You do need to spend the good money, but I think your recruitment is just piss poor, bro. Like
some of our recruitment
will probably suit you guys, but I think Ruben Amorim's the guy to go to, not Luis Enrique. I think Ruben Amorim.
I think when Spurs start to realize that, honestly, other than Harry Kane, and listen, I'm sure everyone knows my views on Harry Kane, but I'm gonna say it again because I'm absolutely sick that this guy gets away with murder. He's been part of all of these big performances where he's fluffed his lines. He's been part of international teams where he's fluffed his lines. He's been part of since 2015. I put the stats out there for everybody to see where he's been in cup finals, semi-finals, and the only one I give him a reprieve for was the one at Liverpool in the Champions League where he was clearly injured. That I give him a blight for that. But every single time against Chelsea, against Man United in the final, in semi-finals against Chelsea, I think it was a quarterfinals, he was fluffed his lines. For England, what he's done, Yes, he was the world. What was it? The record goal scorer for one of the World Cups. But ultimately, when it came down to it,
in 2018, yeah.
Yeah, he was. But when it comes down to it, he lets his country down. When we saw it in the big moment in the World Cup, just in December, what did he do? He didn't hit the target. He hit the ball over the net. He fluffed these lines again.
And that's why I said, Lee, I'm more than happy to.
This guy needs to get
let him go.
He needs to get
it. Harry Kane's problem. Harry Kane has the same.
He's not a big game player. I'm sorry.
No. It's not even that because I'll give Harry Kane a bit of credit. I was the one who actually started the train last year. Harry Kane may or may not be world class, but basically, But basically, what it is with Kane in the league, to be fair to him, he does it against the big six. But when it comes to knockout competitions, in the big moments, and trust me, I'm on to Lewandowski because he's the same type of man as well. In them big moments, he don't really turn up, which is why I never understood why guys put Level in the same convo as Benzema because he's nowhere near him.
But do you know what? Do you know what Tottenham need? This is a key, right? Whenever I talk on Arteta, what I talk on is his first interview at Arsenal, because that's when he persuaded me, because I thought he'd left City a little bit early. But his first interview, the minute I heard him say, there's a lot of people at this club not pulling in the same direction. Everyone at the club needs to know the goals, know the objectives, know the direction, and pull in the same direction, Objectives clear from the board, finance, chefs, players, everyone, fans, everyone, right? Now, that's what Tottenham need. And that's pretty much what George said. A project manager, but not just a project manager that's a good one, that comes in there and says, this is where we're going. I don't need superstars. I don't need this. I don't need that. What I need is players that will listen to me, believe in my project, believe in the direction, and follow. That's what Tottenham need. And Conte wasn't that guy. Like we saw from the beginning.
What does that say, Lee?
We're not even going to read that one. What are we going to read that? There was a comment here. There was a comment that I thought Mo was going to star, but he didn't star it. And he said, we all want to talk because your GOAT went 11 finals and 0 goals. So,
but this thing is, he won. Anyway, listen, George been calling certain man R9. I don't know, bro.
Man said R9.
Is that what George said?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
When I'm celebrating an announcement of my player, I'm allowed to call him whatever I want. I didn't say he was a reincarnation of R9. I said he's our version of R9. There's a difference.
That is a bad version, bro. That is like going from Nike to fucking Umbro, maybe even worse. Like, what's worse than Umbro, man?
Not even Umbro.
Umbro used to be good back in the day, man.
What's the thing with the kangaroo called in it? Kango or something like that?
Puma. Kappa.
No. It's the kangaroo in it, man. It's Reebok. Man. What's the kangaroo called?
Kango.
It's Kango, bro.
That's nasty, bro.
Kango.
That's the key. Sorry, that's the key. It's Tottenham getting a manager. And if we deep it, I said this at the time when they got Conte. Was it October, November? Yeah. Was it October or November? November. Yeah. And then I thought, and everyone was saying, look, he's a manager that likes to come in, get some money, spend the money. And then it got to January and he got asked about the transfers. He said, well, I need to speak to the board. And straight away I thought, this club, man, how have they hired a manager and the manager doesn't know the direction of the January transfer window when he joined them in November, right? It's just that, and look, Levy is the main guy. Like Levy in the board, yeah, I get it. But the fact is Conte's gone in there and I just don't like the way he's trying to avoid any accountability. The fact of the matter is the board are the biggest issue there, but Conte needs to just hold some accountability and not just walk through deflecting it, knowing he's going to get his P, fuck off and get another job elsewhere and do the same shit again.
Conte is doing the same thing in a more extreme version, but there's a guy doing a similar thing, my club, and he goes by the name of Graham Stephen Potter. Peg, and I want that guy gone. I want him ASAP, bro.
Do you want to see with the Chelsea and the 600 million you spent and your
listen, man, want to talk about all the what we've spent, but at the end of the day, I've said this a million times, if you get, let's say you get a brand new, let's say that you get a Benzo in it, a 2023 Benzo, newest version in it. It's all leather seats, all of that, the nicest car. But the driver is some 15-year-old youth who's never even stepped in a go-kart, let alone a real car in his life. That's what it is right now. Man said, but nah, so what was it? So end of the day, right? I've told man, the biggest issue at this club is the guy who's the manager. He has to go. I'm sorry, he has to go.
Do you not think it's Todd?
Huh?
Do you not think it's Todd?
Yeah, Todd has a part to blame in it as well because
we just spoke about direction, and at the moment, again, the fact that and don't get me wrong, look, I do believe the players you're getting is gonna sooner or later it's gonna work. They're going back to the old model slowly, yeah. But for me, I wonder if Chelsea have a clear direction at the moment, because it doesn't look like the player, the manager, and the owner are on the same page. But look, it will work, so it's not comparable to Spurs, to be fair. But I do question his direction as well, to be honest with you, with the way he's
with Potter, right? Here's my issue with this guy. Before he came to the club, let me tell you what his greatest achievement was. His greatest achievement in a top 5 league. I don't count Sweden because that stuff's irrelevant. I don't count the university stuff that everyone says. The guy's greatest achievement was taking Brighton and Hove Albion from 41 points to 51 points. Now explain to me how a man who took Brighton from just above safety to below mediocre to mediocre, how is he supposed to take me back to where we should be? How is he supposed to take man to challenging for league titles, to winning Champions League, to showing why we are the biggest club in London and representing in the best possible way and winning the major VVS? How is he supposed to take me there?
Because Tuchel couldn't do that, neither could he?
No, but Tuchel was different though, because that's a different ownership, a different regime.
A different direction again.
Okay. Yeah,
I just think though, like what you're doing, Abs, is you're showing that you're a true Chelsea fan, and what I mean by that is you're just the most petulant, snobby, inconsistent.
Man doesn't like West London,
Bro, I'll be real with you, bro. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. When you think about where Pep came from, it was himself. He came from the academy. You can't just discredit a man's whole career and say, well, yeah, he's not done this, he's not done that, because ultimately you've got a new owner and you've got a new direction of your club. So you can't think about what you had before, but because you're so used to this, I get what I want when I want, and you just bend over and ask Daddy to, put his things in your back pocket, and then he gives you whatever you want. Now that's what you need to get over this whole rhetoric. It's now changed, and now you're in a different position. And you're still in that whole old mindset, but you need to get over that now because you're not. Listen. And when I just think about Potter, Potter's actually a good manager. He's a good coach. Let me say, he's a good coach. Arteta's a good manager, and I think they're two different things. Arteta came in as a coach, and then he came in and then he changed the manager role. What Daps was saying earlier on. For me, I look at it very simply. Chelsea fans, this is reality. This is the absolute reality. And look, I know people always mention Man City, and yes, they've had some excessive spending over the last few years, but they've also done things a lot better recently. They've also tried to, but not have to spend and not do the whole Cucurella thing. They've not had to, be sucked into these transfer bids over certain players. But you guys just do anything and everything to get the players you want. Spending £100 million on Enzo, you deserve all what you get, and I hope it gets worse for you. But I don't think it's Potter. I think it's just your club. And that's just the way it is with Chelsea. That's the way it
bro, listen,
I personally think that
Potter was an hour of showing about Tottenham and Chelsea, bruv.
Oh, listen.
I just think that.
I'm fine up here. We're just a little club in it, so I get it.
Top of the league, man.
I think he was highly overrated prior to the Chelsea job. You look at De Zerbi coming in. De Zerbi's doing a better job than Potter done all his years at Brighton. He's looking to surpass Potter's amazing season last year in his first season, and he lost his best player mid-season. So I really just think that Potter, he obviously come into a job that was too big for him. His Brighton team was known for not getting over the line, and it's very similar to this Chelsea team. They can't go over the line. Road to 40 points is a real thing. You guys are still struggling to get to that point. They're still, fifth in London, let alone 10th in the league. Like, I personally think that, Chelsea will push on in the seasons to come, but it's definitely not going to be under Potter. They need a new manager to come in, and they're going to need it soon, because the longer that they wait, it's just going to mess up next season, and then they're going to have to brush over another season, and then brush over another season if they don't bring a manager in to really put a project in place and put an actual system in place, because it doesn't seem like Potter knows what he's doing. He doesn't seem like he has control of the dressing room, and he seems like someone that's just a bit overwhelmed by being in the Chelsea job. And I don't know if you guys have noticed recently, he's tried to start this all like what do they call it? his villain arc. Like he's tried to be the anti guy, trying to be a bit more rude, a bit more tough, trying to be a bit, trying to stand up for himself in press conferences. Like,
you know that meme? What's that meme of that guy who's flipping standing with the dog? It's like, they're trying to gas up or whatever. You know them ones.
Yeah.
That's Potter, innit? On my life, I will say this with chest, and I don't care if I get cancelled. Graham Potter is a worse manager than Andreas Villas-Boas. He's a worse manager than Frank Lampard.
Chelsea might not like you, but we good with that.
No, listen.
Villas-Boas was absolutely garbage, I'll be honest.
No, Villas-Boas was terrible. Don't get it. I hated that guy with a passion. But he's worse than
he's not worse.
Hold up. How can, and I'm sorry, because everyone being like, you gotta trust the process, you gotta do this.
You're just a spoiled shit, bro.
No, it's not even a spoiled shit thing. Let me explain to you why.
No, let me explain to you why, Abs, yeah?
I'm not a spoiled shit.
You just got rid of your whole board, everything in there. The culture of your club needs to change, obviously, for the new ownership, the way he wants to do things. And you, man, are just not used to it. It's a bit like when my man was to the USSR, bro, went from being communist to flipping capitalists and all that crap. Bro, it's a change. You got to get used to it. Some people have the old ideology. You just got to get used to the new ideology. You're going to have to give managers time, and you're going to have to stick by some managers that do shit.
So what are you saying? New chant.
Yeah, it's going to be Chelsea.
One more word in there. One more word. One more word.
Listen.
650 million.
But hold
I agree, though. Potter's not bad. Potter's probably not the right fit for you, man. I think he should be allowed to go to Tottenham or something like that and build a project that way. I think he'd be good that way because he can get his own. He can implement a style and everything that he wants to do. But at Chelsea, where the fans are so heavy on him and everything, it's obviously just not a good mix, man. It's you need someone. You want someone for the now. You're spending money for the now, not the future. In that version, so No,
we're doing both. But here's the thing, because we're kind of doing both in it. Because if you look at the average age of the players we're signing, none of them are over 25. I think the oldest guy we signed recently. Okay, so forget the summer one because the summer was a bit different. Since January when Potter's coming, the only guy who's been above the age of 23 that we signed is Nkunku. Everyone else has been under that age. So here's how I look on it. I am not against the idea of a long-term process. I'm not. I've never been against it. In fact, I welcome it because it's the only way of sustainable success. However, to get to that, you need someone who also is going to take charge and implement his vision and at least try and show me something. In 6 months, he's been here. He's not shown any style of play. No players have improved. There's still no pressing patterns. We still don't kill off teams. And isn't it ironic that the same attackers that everyone was saying, Potter needs better strikers, Potter needs this, Potter needs that. De Zerbi comes in and they're scoring goals for fun.
Listen, you're like you had a very successful 20 years since 2004. Very, very successful. You're the most successful club in England in these 20 years or whatever, right? And now you're like, want to try to change everything. You spent all your money. I don't think you can spend more money than this. I think you're going to be in big trouble if you don't get that money back. I don't think you're going to be in big trouble if you don't start to win trophies. That process you're talking about can happen only with a manager like Arteta when you don't spend a lot of 650 in 1 year. So you'll have to pay that back. This is not free money. FFP will come after you. The regulations will come after you. You have to have success now. It's not going to be in the next 5 years. I think what they did is wrong, and I think there is no coming back from this. I think you'll need a manager like Luis Enrique or something to win you next year because you need money, and to get money, you need to win.
Do you know why that's not a big issue? Let me tell you why that's not an issue. Because unlike other clubs, when we were bought by Todd Bowley and Klilik and all these guys, we were bought with zero debt in it. So we basically had a free reign to spend whatever amount of money we wanted to. So I don't think FFP will catch us anytime soon. And no, we will not get into a Barca situation. At least I hope not anytime soon. So really, it's just a case of just get rid of this Potter guy, get him gone.
That's not what I'm reading, Abdullah. I'm reading, Abdullah, that he can't sack Potter because he will go beyond the threshold because of the compensation he'll pay that. If he which tells me that
where was that written?
It's correct without a doubt.
The thing is, though, I've read it as well.
So much money. You spent so much money that if you sack Potter, you'll go beyond the threshold. And the problem is now
is that your players were signed across 8-year contracts. So all of their your signing fees you're signing them for are spread across 8 years. Potter is signed on a 5-year contract. If for you guys to sack him and pay out his whole contract, it's going to cost you about 80 mil to 100 mil. And that's where your problem is. You only get out free. The way that you get out of it is if there's a potential clause in there for this season, if he doesn't reach Champions League, or if he doesn't reach a certain amount of points, or if you guys put a clause in there to protect yourselves. Because at this moment in time, I don't think Chelsea are going to pay 80 million to sack a manager.
Guys, I just want to respond. I'm not a financial advisor, right? I only echo what I'm reading in all the news outlet, which is this is exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, but
I'm just reading what I'm just telling you what I read.
Conor Gallagher. They're gonna make money, you know. They will make money.
Listen, because that's another thing. There's obviously like I'll tell you. I'll tell you my opinion on this team. I don't think.
Lee likes to say shit like
no, but hold on. I don't think that this Chelsea team is quite good enough to challenge or to win the league at this point. And I think there's like 3-4 players away from winning a league in terms of building a balanced team that can go for the title. But I'm sorry, this team should not be sat in 10th place. It shouldn't. Now, if you look at the quality available, and even if you want to talk about balance and how you just pick, you could pick out an 11 and say, right, I can win you enough games to get me top 4 comfortably as well. Comfy. It's just the manager, bro. The manager's the biggest issue. Spin this guy off. Bin him.
Why they're not going to make money, Lee? You just said they're not going to make money.
The reason why they won't make money is simple equation, simple maths. They've got so many players that clubs will not have to feel that they need to buy these players for the amounts that they want to sell them for. Arsenal had the same problem. We tried to get rid of loads of players that we had when we had an a burst squad. We had the likes of Callum Chambers. We couldn't sell these players for 20-30 million pounds because everybody knew that we had so many players and we had to sell them. Chelsea are in huge trouble because someone like Gallagher, he's probably worth 40 million pounds, but teams aren't going to pay 40 million pounds because they know that they've got like 40 players on their books. The Lukaku's of the world, there's another one. Lukaku's not going to go for 100 million because they know that he doesn't want to be there and they know that they're not going to recoup that money. So clubs will look at it and say, Mason Mount, oh, he wants to go? Yeah, perfect. Let's get him for 20 million pounds instead of getting the 50 million pounds that he's probably worth or 60 million pounds. That is what I'm trying to say, that the money that they want, they won't get. I'm telling you, they won't get the big monies or the money that they've kind of wanted before. They've got a load of youth players. You've got a load of youth players that they think that they want to sell. So listen, man, it is what it is.
Chelsea may longer continue. It tends to be honest, because I don't want that model to be the model that everybody follows, to be honest, just buying players left and right. I want to shift gears a little bit in that last part of the show with Arsenal and Man City title talks. Seriously, 8 points.
I'm dying in a minute. So.
Yeah, 8 points. 8 points.
Hey,
the pressure is on City.
5 minutes. Cheers.
8 points. Okay. Who's the pressure on? Arsenal or Man City in these coming days?
Definitely
I'm feeling definitely
coming days. We're both no pressure for the next 9 days.
No, like when you play Liverpool and then now you have to win that game.
Bro, you know what it is? I said this a few weeks ago. When it switches to I think City now have a game in hand because of the FA Cup, but when it switched, it's now at a point where at 12:30 on Saturday, the 1st of April, the pressure is on Manchester City, 100%, right? Because if we don't beat Liverpool, I know we've got a game in hand, but if we don't beat Liverpool, then Arsenal, who will beat Leeds at home, by the way, they go 11 points clear, bro. So anyone trying to say the pressure is right now going into that game. Now, we beat Liverpool. We've got one of our toughest games out of the way, right? The gap will drop to 5 and will be equal on games till Arsenal play. The pressure then goes over to Arsenal. And that is how a title race, when it gets to the business end, is. Every game, before the game, it's on you. Because the fact is, and I keep saying this, the best Man City wins every single game. The best Man City beats Arsenal at the Etihad. But that does not mean Manchester City win the league, because Arsenal have to also drop points in another game. So, look, it's now at a point where everyone says about we can only do what we can do. And that's the truth of the matter. Manchester City have to be the Manchester City that we have been the last few seasons when it gets to the business end. And if we do that, we have a chance of winning this league. I think we can, because I do think Arsenal will drop points somewhere. But we have to be our best, because Arsenal are not going to drop a lot of points. They're not. right?
Lee, is that actually true? The best Man City beats the best Arsenal this year?
Honestly, I don't think so. But what I will say, and I totally agree, it's not a.
It's 2 games, we've won both of them.
Yeah. Listen, that gives credence, but I think I think if we had our full squad, and when I say our full squad, I think if we had Partey, I think he just makes such a difference to our team. I'm not saying that he's the be all and end all, but I'm saying I just think he makes such a huge difference. But all I'm going to say is, I genuinely think that we're going to win the league only because Man City are in 3 competitions, and I think that Liverpool game, I don't see you winning. I think you'll draw that game, and I think it's because it's 12:30 kickoff. And I think Liverpool actually will try and think to themselves, well, Man City have done so much dirt to us over the years. We actually want to kind of harm them a little bit. So I think what will happen.
Do you think they'll come at us?
I think they are going to try and. I think they're going to try and take points off you. Let me just say that.
But
I don't think
that's the thing, Lee. This is the problem with Liverpool, right? So, firstly, their record at Etihad in the league is not very good, right? Secondly, 12:30 kickoff. I hear you. Our last 12:30 kickoff was Newcastle at home. We won 2-0.
But you weren't great. You weren't great in that game.
Okay, cool.
Guys,
I'm just going to quickly
say the pressure definitely on City, but Arsenal will bottle it.
But
big up, bro.
The biggest thing for me is when I look at it, is don't get me wrong, by the way, as well. I'm not going to get carried away like before, where I thought we're going to go to Anfield and win, right? It's Liverpool. But when I look at how they can play to beat City, right? So go back to old Liverpool and come at City. Well, I don't think they want to do that at the moment. I don't think teams want to come at City at the moment, because I think what we're seeing now is if you open up and go at City, that's where we can really take the piss, right? So then it's like, okay, is Liverpool gonna sit back and kind of try and be? Well, Liverpool can't do that at the moment because with their midfield, they can't try and do that. So I just feel like at the moment, Liverpool are in a bit of a position where coming to the Etihad, I don't really know how they're gonna play. Now, the only thing is, yes, it is Liverpool. So, but look, I don't think, and I've said this, we can try and look at the games where City are gonna drop points, look at the games where Arsenal are gonna drop points. I keep saying we've got Fulham away, we've got Brighton away, we've got Brentford away, right? None of those are easy games. Look at Brighton at the moment. So we can't pick any games. We can look at Arsenal games. Before Arsenal played Bournemouth, did anyone think Arsenal would be 2-0 down? Now, they showed character and came back, but no one predicted stuff like that. So it's just is what it is. What everyone needs to do is understand Arsenal this season are a good fucking team, yeah? City are now coming into form. It's going to be a very good end to the season. And it is what it is, man. We will see. By May, June, we will find out.
I pray.
On Arsenal, I think Arsenal have to win one of Man City, Newcastle, or Liverpool. We can't lose all 3 of those games. We absolutely. I mean, obviously, other than
if you lose all 3, you don't deserve to win the league. Like if you lose
no,
3,
because I think, as I said, I think what will happen is I think that Man City Liverpool game will be a draw, which would, and if we win our game in hand, so if we win against Leeds, that will be in theory we'll have a 10-point gap. But obviously, Man City will have a game in hand, so they'll bring it back down to 7. So then we'll be able to kind of play around with two losses, let's say. I think we'll win all the other games. I think we'll beat Brighton at home. I think we'll beat Chelsea at home. I don't think Chelsea have enough. I don't think that Brighton will have enough to beat us at home. I think we'll have enough to, just to concentrate on those games. It's the Newcastle away which scares me the absolute most. And the reason why is because it's just closest to near the end. I think the Man City game, I think if we turn up and we do our thing, I think we can battle a draw there. I don't think we will be able to win. I think Jesus coming back from injury is really good for us, but the fact that he's not got a goal yet, I think just plays on his mind a little bit more. And, the snatching at chances, I think will happen a little bit more. But listen, I think Champions League's going to play a big factor into it as well for Man City. No matter what you want to say.
We played Bayern Munich in the Champions League away, and then we come back and 2 or 3 days later, we've got the semi-final. So but listen, that is what, and this is what Arsenal, I hope for Arsenal next season, they're going to have this. This is what it's about, isn't it? This is what it's about. And you know what? You can end up at the end of the season, like Liverpool, egg on your face going, we haven't really won what we wanted to. But you know what? It's part of the journey as a fan. So it's what it is, man.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I need City to win this title badly.
So do I, bro. Trust me.
Bro, listen.
It's because of fans like this bastard down here, yeah.
No, you know what it is? It's like, bro, listen.
Do you know what it is with me, Abs, yeah? Start of the season, I was like, I don't really care at this point in time. I just wanted to care about my club. Then going through the season, I was like, no, Man City are my direct rivals. I'd rather Arsenal win the league. I can hold it, innit? Like it's calm. Liverpool done it. They won the league. I'll hold it. Cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to do the freebie. Now it's just getting to the point where they're out of all the cups, pretty except for one, Premier League, right? So now it's at this point where Arsenal fans getting this. It's the fucking chest, bro. And you know what it is? If I was in their position, I'd be exactly the same.
Should be, bro. They've earned it. They've earned
You
it,
know,
man.
Arsenal fans are doing that. They don't do it like Liverpool.
No, but just, you know what it is, man?
You know what? Yeah, like let's scrap Arsenal's history. Let's just scrap their history, right? And look at Arsenal this season. At the start of the season, including myself, I was doubting Arsenal. Everyone was, yeah. And to be fair, I think Lee would agree. When it comes to Arsenal and players and manager, I'm someone that actually does believe in Arsenal a bit, yeah. But even I was doubting. But the fact is, they are here. What, 30, 29, 28 games in? They're still here. They're still going strong. They've earned the right to have fucking chest. Like, they have. And look, Arsenal fan base, I know you lot don't like me no more. It's fine. I really don't give a shit, yeah? But we do need to, it's now got to a point where this Arsenal are going to crumble thing. We need to, like, everyone needs to allow that. It's not a crumble. If they don't win the league as well, it's not a crumble. But look, we are City. I started at the beginning of the season saying it. Business end of the season. We just have to see if we're the same team, innit? And it's going to be fun.
Listen. I just need it for the sake of it. You know what? Low key, I don't even know, because I think we play City away on the second last game.
Yeah, you ain't getting nothing out of that, bro.
Nothing. You ain't getting shit.
I know we're not getting nothing, but I would gladly take it. No, but hear what I'm saying. I would gladly take
look at that, bro. That's like vermin talk, bro. Man said he would gladly give up, 3 points.
I would gladly take a 6-0 loss at the Etihad if it means Arsenal don't win the league.
Is that because they're doing the Liverpool thing from last year?
No.
Liverpool,
and you think you're the biggest club in London, yeah? Jeez.
Listen. I, as you man know, I hate Woolwich FC. I won't say the second bit. I hate them. I hate them with a passion.
Anyway.
Everything about them. The club, the fans, the players, they're my biggest up. I can't stand that football club. So anything to stop Arsenal winning the title, I'm here for it. I would take a 6-0 loss at City if it meant Arsenal don't win the league.
We'll end it on that then.
Listen, I'm going to leave now. I'm on a Gal's channel right now, so anyone stay here. It's going to redirect straight over when this ends for more Arsenal City chat. More reason for you to hate me. Love.
Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. Make sure on your way out, still 335 people here. Make sure to hit that like button. At least get at 200 likes, guys. It's underneath your live chat. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Just hit that like button for us. It looks like this. It's free. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate you guys. We appreciate your time, the guests. Lee, thank you so much for being here with us, my friend. Abdullah as well. Thank you so much for George, Daps, and everybody that has been here with us. And thanks for everybody that watched us. We really appreciate you guys. And hopefully you enjoyed the show. And we'll see you guys soon. We're out.
Big